What's up everybody, Arnie back here with another video. What I'm going to be discussing today is this camera right here. I came across this on a YouTube video a few months back and thought this is something that I have to check out. And the reason why is cameras have come quite a long way in the past few years. I'm recording on my 10-year-old DSLR. And as you can see, it's not exactly great, but it was great at the time that I bought it. It was one of the first DSLRs that could record in 1080p, but in 20 frames per second. This is being recorded on my phone, and as you can see, the quality of the video is quite a bit better. What this has going for it that these two cameras don't is that it records in 360, which means everything around you is being recorded. You can attach a monopod to it and extend that out, and what that does, it creates this sort of third person view. It's almost like somebody else is standing there and recording you, which is pretty cool. This could be particularly useful for journalism. And why would I think that? Well, there are loads of different scenarios where having a recording of everything around you is beneficial, but this is especially important in journalism because you often have the risk of missing something vital that you're trying to record when you're out in the field. A classic example of this was a recording of a few teenagers in the US a few weeks ago. What it looked like was them basically mocking a Native American elder, but subsequently a few weeks later, footage surfaced from a different angle that clearly showed that the situation was a little bit more complicated than that. So had there been a 360 recording of that situation, the news story would have developed slightly differently. So this camera is called the Insta360 1X. It uses two lenses to capture a 360-degree video, and then you can use a mobile app to edit the frame that you want. Now the video is recorded in 5.7K, so that means that you can get a full HD video out of a single frame. Now it has all sorts of interesting features, like you can record a slow motion clip, but be aware that the resolution will be bumped down slightly. It can create a nice cinematic looking hyperlapse with no issue. The camera's software stitches the two different lenses footage together automatically, which is nice. A whole bunch of 360 cameras do not have this feature, so you have to stitch the footage in a computer by yourself, and that often means that you have to get a very powerful computer to be able to record footage such as this. For one, the built-in audio capabilities are not great at all, and I would highly recommend you record your audio separately with an external audio recorder. For all this footage that you're seeing, I'm using a Rode lav mic. Another downside is that the camera does not have the best low light performance. As you can clearly see in this clip, there's a whole lot of noise in this footage. One thing this camera really has going for it is that it's tiny. It's smaller than your average smartphone, and you can pretty much carry it around with you anywhere you go without carrying a separate bag for a big camera. Another good thing about this camera is its built-in stabilization. You don't need a gimbal or anything. The software takes care of stabilizing the footage by itself. It uses the 360 aspect of your footage and stabilizes everything accordingly. As you can see in this footage, I attached the camera to my bike, and the roads in London are incredibly bumpy, but the footage was nonetheless very smooth. So this is my short introduction of the Insta360 1X. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope this gives you some ideas of how to use a 360 camera for journalism.